Bye.
Baby. Bye.
Love
Love you.
you.
Bye.
Thank God he's gone.
God, that guy's gone.
Him recording it. Oh, they hate me. Love you, Terry.
No, I love Terry. Yeah, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Double Kick Bonus Level. My name is Patrick Sawyer. With me today is a very special guest host. You've seen him before on both Double Kick and Bonus Level, and he's back, and we're ready to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is a man who has seen every Marvel movie within the first 3 days of its existence in movie theaters, and he'll never stop.
Never.
Please welcome Zachary Shotz.
Hello, my friends,
Shotz,
my
how are
fellow
you?
kickers. How are we doing?
How are we doing?
It is great to be back. I love these little get-togethers we have. Talk about all the things that we're passionate about. It's
That's
fun.
right. And today we got a very, what I think will be passionate episode for you. Shotz, you and I are both big fans of Marvel movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
We previously recorded an episode of this podcast talking about the new Superman movie. And after we got out of that showing that we went to go see, my immediate thought for like the next thing that we would do together would be, oh, let's just talk all about the MCU because it's something we've both seen. It's something we both have very strong opinions about. And they don't always necessarily align with each other.
No, they don't. I think Marvel brings out the most heated debates we've ever had, easily.
Up there for sure. For sure. So what we are going to do today, ladies and gentlemen, just for your this is a little bit of a different episode. Normally we'll have like an intro section and then we'll do games and stuff like that. We're kind of just gonna do this whole thing. We're probably gonna split this into two parts because I really doubt we can get through this within like 2 hours or so. And we really don't want to go longer than that.
She thick.
But Shots and I are establishing some rules here. So this is going to be a tier ranked system for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. First of all, we're only talking officially canon MCU projects that were made by Marvel Studios films. So like first movie is Iron Man. The last movie is the one we also just saw recently, Fantastic Four: First Steps. We're not going to talk TV shows today. Maybe we'll do that some other time. Let us know if you want to hear that in the comments. But our tier rankings are going to go from S tier all the way down to D tier, as you've seen in several other things. For those watching the video feed, we're actually going to try and do this live for you so that you can see us actually clicking and dragging everything as we go. And we'll post the results to Instagram when we're done, obviously. A big rule, because Shots and I can argue about this forever if we feel like it. We are limiting ourselves to a maximum of 5 minutes per movie. And if we do not come to an agreement, then say Shots wants to rank something as a D tier movie and I want to call it an S tier movie, we're going to meet in the middle of whatever we're at. That way, no one ends up happy. It'll incentivize us not to do that. I don't think we're going to run into that too often, but I know there's a couple movies in here that we're definitely going to not agree on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hilarious. All right. Shots, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's get into this.
Let's get into it.
Are you going to handle the stopwatch?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Humble beginnings 2008. I want you to take yourself back, Shots. You are a a child, a wee lad, um, and Spider-Man 3 has just come out. They're talking about doing a Spider-Man 4, and then all of a sudden, Marvel Studios themselves say they're gonna release a movie, and it's gonna be about Iron Man.
Who's Iron Man?
Who is this guy? Who is
Who?
this guy?
What? That's not Spider Man.
It stars a Robert Downey Jr. who is trying to pull his life back together at this point. And that's where magic kind of begins. Crazy to think that this was almost 20 years ago.
It is insane.
Crazy. But that being said, let's get into these rankings. Shots, Iron Man 1. Let's talk. I think, in general, the way we want to categorize these movies, I think important criteria for me is like, do these movies stand by themselves as a movie? Like, can you watch this movie, sit down and enjoy it as a standalone feature? What are you bringing into this ranking here?
Well,
What's important
obviously,
criteria for you?
for me, I think it isn't. It gets harder the later on you go with these movies, with its ability to stand on its own, because they're built. A lot of them are built on one another.
Sure.
And I know you're gonna definitely dock points with certain ones. It's like, well, it was a great movie, but you had to watch 28 other movies to get the context to this one.
See, I don't necessarily disagree with that, like especially in terms of like the bigger universe. I will say I think the movie should at least make a passing attempt at like trying to be its own thing without kind of needing background work.
Right.
We'll get into that as we go further along. But
I
Iron Man
think,
1, start of the universe,
oh yeah.
Shotzi. What are we thinking? What are we thinking for this first movie?
I mean, let's be honest, it's Robert Downey Jr.'s first debut in
Mhm.
the MCU,
That's right.
launching the MCU. It
Mhm.
was just like you said, who is this guy? What is his character? Why do I care?
Right.
And within the span of, I don't remember how long that movie was specifically, but
Yeah, I don't
you're
remember.
just in love. Like, this guy is charismatic,
Sure.
playboy, philanthropist,
Mhm.
billionaire.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're hooked. You want more. It's at the time you have no idea that it's building into something more.
Right.
You start with this cocky guy selling firearms. Clearly everybody loves him or whatever. You could tell he's super smart. Then he gets blown up, tossed in a cave with this random guy, and then he builds his first suit
Out of
from
a box of
scratch.
scraps.
From scraps. Tony
Right.
Stark did that.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it's great. I mean, I really I have no complaints about it.
Sure. Sure.
Um, I feel like if you go back and watch it, it arguably stands up to some of the newer movies, like CGI wise, because they
Oh, for
used a
sure.
lot more like practical stuff back then
Yeah.
than they do
Yeah.
now. Um, yeah, it was like easily like maybe like an 8.5, high end near 9.
Yeah. From what I remember about Iron Man 1, I know it stands alone well, obviously.
It had to.
Um, People didn't even think to like stay for after the credits. Like that wasn't a thing before the MCU. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like I remember when I think people were like buying the DVD and they were like, "Oh my god, there's like a scene at the end of the credits and it's got like Nick Fury in it." And you're like, "What? What is that about?"
Nick who?
Um right. But like I think this movie is definitely it's a good movie. Um what are your initial thoughts? I'm leaning like high B, A. I'm somewhere around there. I'm floating around there.
I don't think it's an S tier for sure,
Definitely
but
not us.
I'm satisfied to give it a solid A, like maybe a B plus if we want to go that route.
Yeah, I if we're just sticking with S through D and not doing like pluses or minuses or anything like that, because that could get a little hectic.
Right.
I think A, and then you know if when we move on as time moves on as we're doing this ranking, then we'll push it back or we'll push movies in front of it or whatever. But I
Readjust.
think I think a solid start. So the Incredible Hulk. Now this is a weird one. This is
It
kind of a
is.
weird one. This is from what I remember, like early MCU. You had I think it was Terrence Howard who was the original like War Machine,
Yes.
and you had Ed Norton as the original Hulk. Neither of these men will return in later movies.
No, they're
They
gone.
are the major. I think the two most major recasts the MCU's ever done up to now.
But yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, it's interesting because I know you said specifically in the beginning that we're only going
mhm.
to include canon, but the Hulk is probably the first instance of it getting a little bit tricky because it is a soft reboot of the 2000 Incredible Hulk, which is also like
Oh
a
god, with
sequel
Eric
to.
Bana, yeah,
Yeah, it literally is, which is
yeah.
weird
So the rights to Hulk are like complicated too, because I think Universal owns the rights, which is why there's never been another Hulk movie since this.
since that one, yeah.
And Hulk is a character that will appear just in other movies. He'll be in like Thor Ragnarok and like Avengers movies, obviously, but like he will never have his own standalone again. Now, here's the thing: I like this movie. I
Yeah,
enjoy it. I like Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, like, but I think specifically a Bruce Banner like on the run. What's his name? I think Mark Ruffalo does a really good job as like more of the like Professor Hulk.
yeah.
He's much more of like a scientist than like Ed Norton is, but like I really enjoyed this movie. I really like the chemistry between him and I forget the actress's name, but like his love interest in this movie.
Oh, Betty.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I enjoy it, but like again, it gets kind of weird because the events of this movie they get referenced, but like you don't even see Ross again until like Civil War or something like that.
It's a while, yeah.
Um, so I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, from what I can remember, it has been a long time since I watched that one.
For sure.
Like you said, he starts out like isolated, just meditating or whatever. It's a lot of him on the run, and then arguably we get like some of the most raw Hulkage Hulk that you've seen,
Hmm.
since then, which is kind of sad. But
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of people say they miss that version of the Hulk, and I get it. I get it. I get it.
I get it for sure.
But yeah, it was solid. It pretty much had a concise story,
Hmm.
it was what it was. It was him on a run trying to deal with his anger and wanting to be left alone and not being allowed to have that, getting chased, and then what's it called to that guy? I forget what his name is, but they make him into Abomination,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that soldier or whatever. And that was a really
And he doesn't come back until She-Hulk the
which
series,
is crazy.
which is crazy.
Well, which movie was it he was referencing? Doctor Strange? Was he like a
Um,
cameo? Oh,
I think
Shang-Chi.
yeah, yeah,
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. Now, here's a question for you. Um, in this version of the Incredible Hulk, Hulk transforms based on his heart rate.
Yeah.
His heart rate spikes over 200 and that's what transforms him. Do you like that or is it more of like the rage for you?
Um,
I think for me, I think the concept worked well in this movie, but I think in general I want the Hulk to transform like when he's like enraged.
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting idea, and I think it worked well
Yeah.
with what they were going for in that movie, but like you said,
Mhm.
if he I don't know, go skydiving or something, he's just gonna turn into the Hulk,
Right. Right.
you know? And, like, I think there was even a scene in that movie where him and Betty were getting intimate and he wasn't able
Yeah.
to,
Right. Right.
so it was
Couldn't
mm,
Hulk out.
yeah, yeah, no, I don't think I was a fan of it in a long
Yeah.
run, so definitely
Mhm.
more anger based for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, we got 5 seconds on our timer. What are we thinking for the Incredible Hulk?
I would say I'd say either like a B or a C.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like this movie, but there are better movies out there, so I'm thinking high C
I'm
makes
comfortable with
sense to
C
me. Yeah.
for sure.
All right. Next up, we got Iron Man 2, first ever
Iron Man
sequel.
2, the first sequel,
First sequel, introduction to Black Widow.
2010, 2 years later.
The real introduction of Nick Fury.
Yes.
Um, yeah. This was the one with Whiplash, right? Was the
Yeah.
villain?
The famous, suitcase
Yes.
transformation.
Yes. One of the coolest suits too. I loved the red and silver instead of like the red and the gold.
Oh, yeah.
Silver looks so good.
And, yeah, the whole, like I don't know, I think this was the first time that you ever kind of felt sympathy for a villain somewhat.
In Whiplash, I mean?
Yeah, because of his father and everything. Like, it's the first
Mm,
time, I should say, that they really gave thought to the backstory of a villain. Like, instead
sure.
of just being evil for the sake of, like, "Oh, I just don't like you." No, there's a
Yeah.
reason why.
I think this is also the first movie where and the MCU will develop a habit of this where it's like there's an evil billionaire controlling the villain behind the scenes
Right.
because you have I think his Army Hammer is this guy
Yeah.
is like the other like villain of this movie.
Yeah, the, other
Um,
rich millionaire scientist,
right.
whatever.
I could do without that. You know what I mean? I just want Whiplash to be the villain for the sake of being the villain. I understand that like where does Whiplash get the tech from? Okay. But I think they could have done more with Hammer's character for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Um Intro of actual War Machine and Don Cheadle as War Machine, his first actual appearance.
Legendary scene at the party
Which one?
where, Tony gets drunk and he ends up taking the armor suit to stop him.
Right. Right.
So cool.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. Um, what are you thinking? Where are you
Um,
leaning here?
I don't think it was as good as the first Iron Man,
I agree.
but,
I agree.
like you said, it's the first time that you get introduced to, like, Black Widow.
Mhm.
Ugh, heartthrob. Little I
Sure.
don't know how old I was, 12-year-old me was just like, "Who's that?"
Right. Who is that?
That ooh, I like that. And like I said, him dealing with, especially rewatching it as I got older, like, the themes of him dealing with, depression and all that. It's
Sure.
a heavy-hitting movie, and I like the themes, and I think it handled a lot of stuff at once well, but
Yeah. Yeah. Because this is like the introduction of the concept of like, hey, we're forming the Avengers. Like, this is what we're thinking about.
mhm.
And then Nick Fury's official recommendation in this movie is like, we recommend Iron Man become an Avenger. We do not recommend Tony Stark become an Avenger. And it
Yeah.
was one of those things where Tony Stark was like, "Well, how? What? That doesn't even make sense. Like, what are we talking about?"
I am Iron Man. Did we miss that
Right.
part? It was the end of the last movie.
I oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. But yeah, I agree with you. It's not as good as the first one. I would honestly, because of like the forgettableness of like the Army Hammer and stuff like that, I personally want to say C tier.
See?
I would think above Incredible Hulk and like just kind of barely.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see. I can
We could do
see.
like a low B. tier, you know?
Well, how about we put it above Hulk for now, and then, like,
Sure.
depending on where we get with B, maybe it could get bumped up to, like,
Okay.
bottom of B.
Okay. I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine with that.
Alright, next up is the first Thor.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Now, okay.
Goldilocks.
Let's talk about the characterization of Thor really quick. So, um, do we like Shakespeare Thor?
Absolutely.
I don't know if I do.
That's l but
I don't know
can I
if
ask how
I
many, like,
do.
Thor comics you've ever read?
I know. Oh, I know.
'Cause
I
that
just
is who
right.
he is,
I understand that.
and the
I do
first movie
understand
captured
that.
that the best out of all of them.
Sure. Now, here's the thing. This is still the like fledgling MCU. We're 3 movies in. We've already had to recast a couple of major people. Um, the MCU was not like what it became yet. However, Shots, if you're sitting here telling me that the scenes in this movie that take place in that one little town don't look ridiculous, then you can get out of here. You can get out of here right now.
In what capacity do they look ridiculous?
It's clearly not a real town. They look like they put up cardboard cutouts of buildings for most of that little town that Jane Foster's from, where they're doing the research on like the fallen hammer.
I was gonna say, I don't think she's from there. I think they're just there chasing the anomaly
Sure.
or whatever.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember. I
Oh,
don't
buddy.
remember what it looks like.
It stands out to me every time. They're like multicolored building, like there's like pink buildings and like blue buildings, and it looks so cartoony that I'm sitting here and I'm like, this takes me out of this because you have the crazy CGI, like Asgard, like everything looks good, and then they get to this town, and you're like, oh, did we waste all the budget on Asgard? Like, where we
Maybe.
can't afford like other sets or
'Cause,
anything?
like, one of the most memorable parts of that movie to me too is, like, that, like I don't remember. Did they, like, outright say that it was SHIELD, or d was that not a thing yet? That
No,
little
no,
base,
yeah, yeah, because that's the intro of Hawkeye.
right? We first got Hawkeye just
Hmm.
standing up there, ready,
Ready
not
to
doing
go.
any aura farming, just aura
Yeah,
farming.
just pure Jeremy Renner aura farming for sure.
But yeah, like, I thought, like, that whole scene, like, that whole SHIELD base, I guess, was really cool, and, like, him going in there in the rain, just taking out people and trying to lift the hammer. Oh, and
Sure. Yeah.
this is, we didn't even talk about the GOAT, Loki, the first introduction of Loki.
Tom Hiddleston's Loki is one of the best castings in the entire MCU.
Period. Period.
And I'd put it up there like better than Chris Hemsworth, Thor, better or on the same tier as Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. He's that good.
Especially,
He's
like,
that good.
with his later performances, I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But,
sure. But for the
yeah, I don't know. I really don't remember.
purposes
I
of
don't
this
remember
movie,
it looking that stupid.
it looked crazy. But we'll see how we lie. What do you think?
Well, again, it's hard with these first movies because it is like the introduction, is
For
setting the
sure.
groundwork. Um,
Yeah.
I do really think that the characterization of Thor himself, if we're just looking at that, worthy for
Mhm.
Thor, he's finding himself to be
Right.
more human, is done really well. I mean, maybe the scenery wasn't the best, but I feel like I'd be comfortable putting it at least in between Iron Man 2 and Hulk.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't think you were gonna let it go that low.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think none of the Thor movies have ever been my favorites out of them,
That's fair.
but,
That's fair. Okay.
you
Yeah.
know,
I'm
it
I'm
has a
cool
lot
with
of
that.
golden scenes.
Sure. Sure. I no, I'm cool with that. I think I personally would say like C, like mid to high C. I think that's fine. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Next up. the
Ooh,
boy,
the GOAT.
America himself, Chris Evans,
That's
Captain
America's booty.
America, the first Avenger.
The
When
anchor
I
beam.
the anchor booty. When I think about this movie, like I think this was one of the ones early on that you were like, "Oh, the MCU like is really gonna try." Like the way they depict like Red Skull and like the fight between Cap, like just Cap's kind of journey from being like just like a propaganda tool to like an actual soldier fighting in World War II is awesome.
Yeah.
I think the only thing, and again, this is a tiny complaint, but it's a complaint. The CGI small Chris Evans looks ridiculous. It looks so silly.
Was it CGI? I thought it was actually a real person with his face CGI'd onto it.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
Okay.
clearly Chris Evans's head does not belong on that body, and it
It's
looks
too beefy.
so silly. And it just I whenever I will rewatch this movie, I'm like, I just have to get through until he gets the super soldier serum because I just can't deal with this guy.
It's so funny because I feel like those are things at least I personally never noticed when I first watched it because of how young I was.
Sure, sure.
It's like you really don't notice it until you watch it 3 or 4 times years later.
Right, right.
Um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
I
it was
mean,
I
you've
don't even
got
know.
you got Peggy Carter, you know,
Ooh,
you've got
Haley,
uh Bucky, you got Bucky Barnes,
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes. I mean, this movie's really good. And then the ending twist where like he crashes the plane into the iceberg to protect the Tesseract from falling into the hands of the Red Skull and like the Nazis and all them. When he wakes up and you're like, "Oh my god, he's just in the
He
hospital or
survived.
whatever." Yeah, he survived. That's great. And then
Woo.
he walks out and it's like modern Times Square and like then all the shield agents come up to
And
him.
Nick Fury.
It is crazy.
I know,
You're
you're
like,
just like,
"Oh my god."
What is happening?
And then I'm pretty sure he ends the movie on the line that's like, I missed my dance or something like that.
Or yeah, he's like, I guess he like flips open the thing and he's like, I guess I'm gonna miss my dance.
Yeah, yeah.
Something corny like that. But yeah,
So tragic, dude.
it is
I I don't know what you're thinking. I personally think this is better than Iron Man 1.
better than Iron Man 1.
I think so.
I think I think it is a little bit slower than Iron Man 1, but it
For
ramps
sure.
up so much better.
Mhm.
And we'll get into it shortly too, but Captain America movies have some of the best like choreography
The action scenes in this movie
or
are
top
downright crazy.
notch.
Yeah, I agree.
So we thinking Iron Man 1 dethroned?
I personally would say that. If you wanna disagree, feel free to.
I don't know. I don't know. I
Do
feel
you
like
feel this strongly about it, I guess is the question.
Iron Man 1 and the first Avenger, I feel like they're pretty interchangeable. I don't know. It could go either way.
Sure, sure.
But
Okay,
if you want to put it above Iron Man 1 for now, I'm cool with
okay.
it. Remember this
Alright.
kindness.
Remember this kindness. Alright. We're doing pretty good, Shots. I thought we'd be a lot more heated at this point,
I know,
but
right?
I think that's yet to come. I see a movie coming that I know we're gonna fight
Whatever could you
about.
mean? Whatever could you mean?
Alright.
The
Marvel's The
first the
Avengers.
first Avengers movie.
So, like, when you think about this movie, this came out in 2012, right? This was crazy. The idea of like individual heroes teaming up in like one movie was insane.
Right.
And I don't know about you shots, but like I growing up, I don't like watching the previous movies to this, I didn't know that they were connected. So when they announced like an Avengers movie with all these characters, I was like, what are they doing? They're putting everybody together?
Like, you didn't know they were connected at
I
all?
I had no idea. I had no earthly idea.
You know what? We didn't even really talk about it. What was it? Iron Man 2, the end scene credit was him coming up to the Hulk, right?
Oh wait, no, he approaches Ross.
Ross.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so Ross does show up again. I
right.
forgot about that.
And
You're
then
right, you're right.
I think in Cap, it's hard to remember. They also tease Thor's hammer falling down too in one of them.
Right,
It
right.
might have been Iron Man 2 as well.
I don't know if they did that many post-credit scenes back then. I don't know.
True.
I don't
But
remember.
yeah, like
I will say, we didn't touch on it, but you know this and I know this, but, like, canonically, Iron Man 2, Thor, The Incredible Hulk, and Captain America waking up all take place within 1 week
yeah,
of the MCU timeline.
and there's that little, short,
Yeah,
what's his face
Fury's
with
busy
Big
week or
Bang.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
really,
crazy.
really crazy. I will say, this like, the Avengers movie, the first Avengers movie, incredible. Like, every time you rewatch it, like, you're like, "I forgot how much magic this was when it came out."
Yeah.
But I really do like, they this is what the MCU was, like, really built on, you know what I mean? This was, like, the first culmination of everything, and I think this success led to them being like, "Oh, we can start to get crazy with this.
Hmm.
We can start
Oh,
to expand."
we found the cheat code.
Right, right. I think, like, all the cast, like, the chemistry, I think the plot works really well too because you have people, like, teaming up with each other, like, you have Tony and Bruce Banner teaming up for the first time. Introduction of Mark Ruffalo, by the way,
Yeah, yeah,
who I think the best live action Hulk we've ever had. But you have all these different, like, things happening, but, like, they make sense in the context of the story because, like, there's inherent mistrust coming from, like, Shield and Tony Stark especially is like, "I don't trust any of these guys," and he's talking to Steve Rogers for the first time, and he's like, "You trust these guys, Boy Scout? Get real." You know what I mean?
yeah.
It gave the vibes of, like, this is a team who have all these different interests and everything, but they have to come together because they have to stop Loki. And oh my god, this is the first time in post credit scene you see Thanos.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
A lot of stuff early on,
And
but
honestly, it also is the main setup for Tony Stark's obsession with
oh
protecting the
yeah,
world
oh yeah,
and fear.
he he goes out into space to throw that nuke at them, and he sees all those spaceships, and that moment carries his character progression for the rest of the time he's in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, he becomes obsessed with this idea
There's
forever.
also, like, a overarching theme too of and I don't wanna say, like, that was a failure, but his failures become immediate responses the next time he's in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah, I've
so
seen
many
those clips and
times.
stuff.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
movie.
Great movie.
The best
Incredible movie.
delivery of the Hulk too. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always
I'm
angry.
always angry. Very, very cool. That scene where they're all, like, in costume, ready to go. I have that Funko Pop that you got me with all of them, like, all in the circle around each other, like, in the Battle of New York.
It's iconic.
It's iconic. We have 5 seconds left. I'm cool putting this in S tier. I don't
Our
know
first
about you.
S?
I think so, dude. I think so. I
Yeah,
I think this movie's that good.
it is good. It is good. I agree, yeah.
All right.
Let's put her up there.
Look at us, dude. Look at us.
Fate said, "Nah, it's A tier."
It's a no. All right.
Alright.
So
So
that is
that
the end of phase one.
I was gonna say that's the first phase, right?
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back to get into phase two of Marvel Cinematic Universe tier list ranking.
You're
Here indeed. BRB. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Shots, let's get into some phase two MCU stuff. I think so far things have been cordial between us. I think you'd agree.
yeah.
I think that comes to an end in phase two. I think that's here we go. Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
This is an interesting one because this is a movie that I would argue the events of this movie have very little repercussion on the rest of the MCU as a whole. And with like all the different like here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. I think Tony Stark's like the PTSD and like everything that's going on with him as a character really good. I think the stuff with him and the kid fixing the suit in like the garage, I think that's cool. I think like him as the mechanic,
Yeah.
cool. The Mandarin, I don't even remember who ended up being the real villain of this movie. You had like the extremist stuff.
I think
Um,
I think he was that guy. Like,
he was just like an actor though, right?
wasn't it Hammer again? Or
Was it?
the guy from Iron Man 1 that he blows off on the red carpet? It was him.
I couldn't tell you.
But
I'll
yeah,
have to tell
the
you.
Mandarin was an actor.
Right,
He
right,
wasn't the real Mandarin.
right. And I think this was one of the first like controversies of the MCU, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like 3.
A lot of people didn't like 3. A lot of people were mad about the Mandarin thing. I remember that. Um, Tony Stark at the end of this movie blows up all of his suits, and then the next time you see Tony Stark, he's back in the suit. So it was kind of like, what was the point of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was cool though.
Um,
It was
yeah,
cool at
yeah,
the end.
sure, cool.
And then Pepper Potts getting that thing, that
Yeah,
her
yeah, the
power.
extremist stuff, and then that never shows up again.
Well, yeah, they like
Um,
cured her, I guess.
so yeah, I think there's such like a blahness to this movie that I'm just like this movie. If it didn't exist, the MCU would be no different to me.
I feel like to me, the coolest parts of this movie were the scenes where he wasn't in the suit.
I agree.
Because we got
I
like,
agree.
the scene where Rhodes got captured and he like went in and saved him, and he just
Yeah.
has like what, a gauntlet on him, or not even, he has like a pistol, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he literally takes out mad people just on his own.
Yeah. Yeah. He just has like the hand, and that's all he's like working with.
And the suit
Um.
up scene, I think, because there's that like scene with the president question mark over the water where he saves all the people.
Oh yeah, when they like blow up his house, right?
I think it's like
That
right
scene.
after that, but like people in like an airplane got like shot out of the sky, and he ends up saving them, and he's like
Oh
carrying them all like chain
yes.
linked.
Yes. No, I
That
do
scene was
remember that
cool.
now. Sure.
Uh,
I
and
think though in general, like you said, like I think the character moments of this movie are really good. Um Not much else.
mm,
Not much else really going for this movie. And again, like the character growth that Tony Stark goes through at the end where he's like, I don't need to be Iron Man. I don't need to have this obsession. Like it's not good for me, whatever. That all gets thrown out the window the very next time we see him. Um so for that reason, I would say this movie low C tier because there are redeeming moments for
yeah.
sure, but I
I f
think
Was there
in
even a reason he blew
general,
up his suits other than saving Pepper at the end?
Pepper also wants him to. because he's become like he has like 50 of these suits now, and Pepper's like, "You've become obsessed with being Iron Man. Like you're not Tony Stark anymore." And essentially to like save their relationship, he's like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. I need to give this up for our relationship, for my own mental health." And then, like I said, that kind of just gets thrown out the window.
Right.
So I'm gonna say low C tier. Do you agree?
Below Hulk, um,
Yeah. I
I
enjoy the Incredible Hulk more than I enjoy Iron Man 3, for
and
sure.
again, I enjoyed 3.
Yeah,
I think the action scenes were cool, the suits were
sure.
cool, and, like, like we were saying, that I had fun moments,
Mhm.
and honestly, I don't think even the thing that does get referenced, like, 10 years later could have just gone without happening with the Mandarin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably didn't need to exist. They probably could have figured out to include those plot points somewhere else.
Elsewhere. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so, unfortunately.
for sure. Alright, and that's our time anyway. So, yeah, bottom C tier, there we go. Okay,
Don't even look at me.
it's time.
Don't even look at me.
Shots, let's talk about Thor: The Dark World.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to make a sidebar that this has been an ongoing, I can't even say debate, for years.
Argument. Argument.
It's
Shots,
become a
I
meme,
you alright, you know where I'm going with this movie.
and you know where I go with this movie every time.
No, here's the thing. I don't know where you're ranking this movie, but here's what I will say.
Okay.
This movie's trash. This movie is garbage. It's bad. This movie forced them to redo Thor's character because it was so boring and so just like, oh my God, who cares? That like a comedy moment from Chris Hemsworth just ad libbing something in this movie where he hangs the hammer on the thing is the reason they're like, oh, we should make this a comedy guy. We should totally revamp this character.
That was ad-libbed?
Yeah, yeah, that was from Chris Hemsworth.
That's so funny.
Yeah, this is a bad movie, shots. This is a bad movie.
Tell me the plot right now, Pat.
Jane Foster gets infected with the ether, which the MCU later retcons to be one of the Infinity Stones, which is also stupid, by the way. Um, and there's a dark elf named Malekith, and I only know that because you remind me of that character's name all the time. Who wants the ether for
He
reasons.
he
I
wants
couldn't
the
tell you why.
ether because his kind was banished to the dark realm by Odin,
Mhm. Sure.
and it's the
Sure.
only way because, the ether is the reality stone, right? I
Um,
think? I'm trying to think, it's
uh,
red. I think red is
yeah,
reality?
I think red is reality. What's
Which
purple?
power?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, this is the
Um,
reality stone.
which makes sense because it's what put him into the dark realm, whatever.
But then why like what does it do to Jane Foster? Like why she's infected with it and it's like goo and it's not a stone.
I don't think, well, my thought, I don't whether or not it's actual canon is, it's the reality stone, so it just does whatever it wants to do. It is whatever shape it wants to be. And I think it literally was a stone at the very beginning when it was in between those pillars. I'm pretty sure. And then like when she touched it, it like infused into her. And I mean, we've been shown too in other instances that most mortals can't interact with infinity stones. It like corrupts them.
Sure, and that's all fine and dandy. That doesn't change this movie from being bad. This movie sucks, dude.
I don't think
This
it's that
movie
bad.
sucks. It's
I,
bad.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
I think this belongs in the bottom of the tiers for sure. Where do you think this movie goes?
I think what? Don't look at me like that.
I'm just waiting for you to say something. Where
I
does this movie go?
I don't think like listen,
Mhm.
just how we say like Iron Man 3 didn't need to exist. I don't think Thor 2 needed to exist necessarily either.
I think if the Thor 2 didn't exist, well, outside of what it does for the Thor character later on, because they do reinvent him and he becomes a lot better. But I think if Thor 2 doesn't exist, the MCU as a whole is better. It's not just like it's the same, it's better.
I don't think it negatively impacts the MCU at all. It's just a story bead that helps further the plot of all MCU, not necessarily Thor, which is an issue. It
But
should.
again, only in like retcon, like because again, this was not an Infinity Stone. I don't care what you say. I don't think like
I don't remember it
they
ever being retconned.
I don't think this was meant to be the reality stone in the beginning. I really don't.
That's just because you don't like it.
I, look at. I'll go back and rewatch this movie, but I'm telling you, they don't say it in the movie that this is Infinity Stone.
They don't say
Infinity
that about
Stones
the
weren't even
Tesseract. They
sure,
do
right. That's what I'm
not say
saying.
that about the Tesseract.
Sure, that's fine. That's
Why is that
fine
fine? Why is that fine?
because it's a bad movie. Shots.
No, you're just picking and choosing.
We're out of time. We're out of
Uh,
time. What do you think?
annoying. Annoying.
What do you think? Is this better
Gee,
than Iron Man 3? Let's go
is
let's
it
go up the list.
is it better than Iron Man 3? Well,
Yeah.
how many movies are we allowing in each tier? Does it not matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I think personally, I think it's on the same level as Iron Man 3.
I think it's worse.
I disagree.
I'd rather watch Iron Man 3 for sure.
Uh-huh. I
So
think it's
are we going D? Are we going C?
I'm chill with it being C.
I'm not. I really don't want it in C tier. I think you know this belongs here and you just don't want to admit it.
I don't think it's that bad.
I
I
think it's
will
the
never
king of the D tier, but I think it's in the D tier.
the king, like the best D.
Like sure. Yeah.
I'm curious what you think is worse than that.
There's worse. There's worse. 100% there's worse.
So you could
It,
throw it in C theoretically.
nah, it looks right here, and I think you know that. I think you're looking at this now, and you're like, "This makes sense. This makes sense."
I think you're throwing words into my mouth.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to move it above Iron Man 3?
I don't want it above. I just don't think
Well
it's a
then
D
it
tier movie.
belongs in the D tier, brother. We'll look at we'll cross this bridge. Let's leave it in D tier for now, and we'll come back. And if there's a movie in between these two, then I will move Thor: The Dark World up to C tier. But for now, it will belong with the trash. Let's talk about a good movie, Shots.
I
Captain
need a
America:
pot
The Winter
cleanser.
Soldier. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, dude.
So I'm just gonna flat out say it.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the best movies that Marvel's produced.
I don't disagree with you. I think ultimately I'm cool. We're just immediately going to put this in S tier quick.
Just
But
straight throw in a S. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I'm absolutely cool about it. But
I'm
let's
totally
talk
fine with
about
that.
it.
I was going to
Um,
say it deserves the respect.
yeah,
Let's. So here's the thing. I think Captain America: The Winter Soldier is an incredible spy thriller. I know people who don't like the MCU as a whole who love this movie. I think this is also the best suit Captain America wears.
yeah.
Um, I love the chemistry between him and Sam Wilson. I love
It's
the
also the
chemistry.
introduction of Sam Wilson, is it not?
Yeah, 100%. I love the chemistry between him and Black Widow. I think that combination is incredible. I really like uh the kind of rivalry, well, especially this movie, like between Captain America and Bucky Barnes, where Bucky's back as the Winter Soldier, and you know, Steve has to go through all this like heartbreak again that he lost this friend that's now like
Just
an evil person. And
just the reveal alone was, like, phenomenal, you know? Like,
yeah.
we get one of well, first of all, the beginning of the movie where Cap, like, goes onto that ship
Oh,
and, like, he has, like, a stealthy version of his shield, his suit is all blacked out. He just absolutely decimates everybody. He, like, drop kicks a shield into somebody, it's
yeah.
crazy.
It's awesome.
Um,
It's
and
absolutely
then, like,
awesome.
you fast forward to the Winter Soldier, you get one of the if not I think the only thing that's ever come close to it, and we'll talk about it, is Shang-Chi for me. The one of the best
Like,
hand-to-hand combats between 2 people,
yeah.
Cap and Bucky, and
Yeah.
then you just get, like, this lo it's like 5 minutes of just straight action,
Yeah.
and then you get this reveal where I think Widow, like, shoots the mask off of him, or he hits it off of him or something,
Yeah. Right.
and it's revealed to
And
be Bucky.
mhm.
Ooh,
So so not just like the stuff with Bucky, but like that is incredible, obviously. But like this is where we find out that like Hydra is back. Like they've infiltrated Shield, they've been around
I was gonna say they
forever.
never left.
And like that sort of revelation in the context of like the MCU was huge at the time. And it in terms of like when the MCU tries to do like different genres, because most of it's action adventure, right? This was the first true like more spy, like espionage thriller type movie, and it really worked here. The
Yeah.
elevator scene.
Oh, before we
Oh my
start,
god!
does anybody wanna get
Anyone want to
off?
get off? Oh my god! And then they just go into full on action. I mean,
Iconic.
it's iconic. It's one of the best things
We
Marvel's ever
also
put
get
out.
the helicopter scene where he
Oh,
freaking
yeah, right.
hurls a helicopter.
Incredible, incredible. This is
Come on.
where Chris Evans, like, truly becomes, like, one of the faces of the MCU, and, I mean, who how could you not? How could you not?
It's
Falcon
immaculate.
also the intro of Falcon in this movie, I know we talked about Sam Wilson, but, like, when you see him flying for the first time, you're like, "What is going on here? What is this another super soldier?" And he's not, and
It's just a dude.
that's that's the I think most incredible part about Sam Wilson is that like he keeps up with Captain America even though he's just a guy. He's just a dude,
Just a bro.
just a bro. S tier movie,
S tier.
100%.
We put that above, Avengers, right?
Yes, and I think it belongs there.
For sure.
Shots. God, we're going banger after banger here. Let's talk about
Uh,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I mean, here's what I'll say, and I think I mentioned this in our review of the Superman movie from this year. There's never been a James Gunn movie that I've seen that I did not like,
right.
ever. I
I
like this was like Chris Pratt, the first time you really see him like as like an action star. Before this, he was on like Parks and Rec. And I don't know if you ever saw Parks and Rec shots, but like he lost a ton of weight for this movie. He got into like superhero shape and like very funny guy, but like you didn't expect him to get this ripped and like to be this action star. And so, for him to kind of start to come into this was incredible. But like the rest of the cast too, like Zoe Saldana, awesome in this movie. Even, I mean, I would argue, shots that this is Vin Diesel's best film.
I grew.
This is one of his best roles.
Bradley Cooper.
Oh my god, I always forget that that's Bradley Cooper. I
Yeah,
always forget,
my boy.
my boy. But
Um, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more later too, but I think out of every single, I guess we'll call it franchise,
mhm.
the most solid of the lot, the most solid like set of 3 movies.
Oh, again, this is a movie that I know for a fact. I have people who I talk to who they're not even really fans of superhero movies, but like the Guardians movies, they have a special carve out for people that like Those 3 movies are the most incredible superhero films, and, like, talk about the power of the MCU at this point. Nobody in their mind knew the Guardians of the Galaxy before this movie came out.
And I will
Like,
say, like, that's, like, a thing that MCU has done great is just taking these no name well, I don't wanna say no name, but, like, characters you really didn't care about. Because
very niche characters.
if it wasn't Spider-Man, if
Yeah.
it wasn't Superman, Batman, you didn't care about unless you were a diehard.
Yeah, right, right. Even, again, like, Iron Man, Captain America were, like, very C tier, like, heroes
Yeah.
before the MCU was a thing.
I've said that
But
to, one of my coworkers, and they were like, "What are you talking about? Like, they've always been
yeah,
popular." And I was like,
no,
"No, they weren't.
absolutely not.
No, they were not."
Absolutely not. And again,
But
it's
alright.
hard for people to remember that, but, like, truly. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1. We really haven't even talked about the movie at all.
We sure didn't.
Um, but I really enjoy, like, James Gunn knows how to put, like, a team together. I really enjoy the dynamic of this team. Oh my god, Dave Batista, by the way,
Oh,
Drax the Destroyer. Shots, I don't know, you're not, like, big into, like, pro wrestling or anything like that, but, like, before this, Dave Batista was a professional wrestler. He
yeah.
was one of the biggest names in the WWE for a long time, and then he quit to start acting, and this was, like, one of the first roles he booked, and he's awesome. He's one of the best parts of these
I was
movies.
gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, but out of the trend of wrestlers turned actors, I think Batista's the best. Is that crazy to say?
No,
Him and
I don't think it's
Cena?
crazy to say, for sure. I think really when you're talking wrestlers to actors, you're talking Batista, John Cena, The Rock, and you could argue Hulk Hogan because he shows up in, like, Rocky 3, but whatever. Um, but I think Batista and John Cena are, like, up there. John Cena's really starting to find his footing nowadays, but, like, I think for the longest time, you would definitely say Dave Batista just because the Guardians movies alone, he's just he is Drax the Destroyer,
Yeah,
and it's an incredible role that he gets cast in.
for sure.
Um, this movie for sure is like, they definitively say they're talking about an Infinity Stone, and this is kind of building up because Gamora is the daughter of Thanos, the adopted daughter of Thanos.
Yeah.
So this is really where the MCU starts to, like, ratchet up, like, this outer worldly um plane for itself, where we're saying, hey, like, we we're going in a direction, we have a plan, and long term Thanos is the villain.
Do you
And
remember, because like, we had the Tesseract, right? We had
yep,
the Ether. Do you
yep.
remember what the Power Stone was called before they broke it out of the shell? Did it have
um I don't know, I think it honestly was the Power Stone,
because it was in that,
or
like,
it
orb.
was in, like, yeah, it was in, like, a little egg, like a ceramic egg almost. But yeah, I don't remember, but for sure. And, like, the end scene with these guys, where they have the dance battle against,
Yeah.
oh, what's his name? Why do I not remember this villain's name?
Oh, the dude with the hammer, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't remember. He's one
And
of,
then
like, the heralds of Thanos, though.
they beat him with the power of friendship,
Yeah, yeah. But
literally.
I really love this movie, and, like, all the Guardians movies I think are gonna rank really high for me.
Mhm.
Um, but is Guardians 1, I think this movie belongs in A tier.
Yeah, I'm thinking so what we got in A? Iron Man and Cap?
Yeah. I think this movie could be above those 2 for me personally.
Either above or in between.
Like, under Captain America.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. 'Cause it is really good, but I think there are other ones coming that are also really good.
Right.
Um, Next up, we got Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Is this the end of phase 2 already?
That's what I was going to look up really quick.
Because that's really fast.
I mean, there weren't a ton of movies early on in these phases. I think it's only like phase 4 where it really starts to like,
Beef it up.
oh, there's so much here. Yeah, there are a total of 6 films. Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Winter Soldier, Guardians, Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man are the last 2.
Okay.
So,
Ant-Man's like
Avengers,
the end piece, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Age of Ultron. This one's tough because I think just looking at the current 4 Avengers movies that there are, this one is the worst of them. But
You
it's
think
not
so?
like, I mean, yeah. I think it's the one most people would skip if they only had so much time to watch the Avengers movies, like just the Avengers movies. Um you have Quicksilver, who is interesting enough, but there was like that time where the MCU had a Quicksilver and the Fox universe had Quicksilver. Um and this is, I don't want to get bogged down in those kind of details, but like there's the weird, like they're Inhumans for a long time because Marvel didn't have the rights to call any of their people X-Men or like mutants.
Did they ever say that they were inhuman? Was that a thing?
Yes, yes. Yeah, the Maximoff siblings were Inhumans here
Interesting.
because that's like a comic book origin where that doesn't involve Magneto and they're not mutants here, but you know, in reality, they were longtime mutants. They've just kind of always been mutants, and I think
Yeah.
now Marvel will start to acknowledge that. But I digress.
But
Um,
I mean, on one hand, we got Quicksilver, but on the other hand, we got the mother of the MCU, the first mother, right?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, the
Is she the?
orphan.
Yeah, I guess she would be the first mother. Yeah, I look at and I Scarlet Witch. I think it took them a little while to figure out her character. And like obviously in this movie, she's like more of a villain until the end. I like a lot of the action scenes in this movie. Um, I do think in general it is one because like from what I remember, they announced Age of Ultron and then they had like set the stage for, I think they had announced Civil War or like teased it with like Captain America 3. I think they called it something else. But like they had already announced the next Avengers movie and I think at the time there were either leaks or it came out that like the next Avengers movie was Infinity War and it was going to involve Thanos and everything. So I think people came into this movie being like, "Oh, well, we could probably skip this one because it's Ultron. He's probably not going to be that big of a threat." So I don't
But
know.
I do want to talk about like some of the points that I liked about this movie.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
the you know, it's I'm pretty sure the only Avengers movie where we have every single part of the Avengers on screen at the same time fighting together. The beginning where they're in the forest taking down
Oh
Hydra.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Um,
okay, so like the core Avengers. Yeah, that's
it's
probably true.
also what starts the joke about Cap not cursing, I think.
Does that go beyond this movie?
It does.
Does it?
It
Okay.
does.
I do
Um,
remember. Obviously, he yells at Tony for being a potty mouth, but
there's the scene, the party scene where it first teases him being able to lift Thor's hammer,
right, right.
and people say he just put it down because he didn't want to embarrass Thor or whatever.
I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I love that explanation. I get it.
I
I
get
don't know
it.
if I love it.
Um, we get to see again Tony get trauma dumped PTSD of watching all his friends die.
Yeah, again, so this is the first movie after Iron Man 3. Tony, like I said, just kind of regresses his character. He's Iron Man again with no explanation. Um, we're gonna go overtime on this one, but that's fine. Um, and yeah, you see again more hints of like what is to come. Like
His purpose.
he sees Infinity War happening. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, I like the scene with Tony and Bruce Banner where he is trying to calm Bruce down and he's in the
Oh, yeah.
Hulkbuster armor.
Mhm. Yeah,
Really
we
dope.
also got the Hulkbuster armor. That was the first time of that.
Right, right. Um, yeah. I you know what I don't love in this movie? And they kind of pivot from it pretty quickly after this, but the
Oh, I
like
know what you're gonna say.
romance
Yep.
between
Natasha and
Bruce
Bruce.
Banner and Natasha, I don't like that at all.
It was a choice. I mean, like, I get
It was
it.
weird.
I
It
get
was
it.
weird. Do you get it?
I mean, I get it because the from the beginning of even the first Avengers, Natasha was the only one that could talk to the Hulk or like relate to Bruce Banner. So they were kind of like pushing the stigma that she's like the Beauty and the Beast type.
Yeah, I
So like
think the
I
only
see it.
I think honestly, a lot of people were like shipping her and Captain America after Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason they put her and Bruce together was so that people would stop shipping those guys. Legitimately, I think that's really the
And then
only
they
reason that really happens.
introduced what's her face, Peggy's granddaughter.
Oh my god, Sharon Carter. Poor
Sharon.
Sharon Carter.
Yeah. They tried to
Terrible.
make that like a thing for a
That was
hot minute.
also weird.
I don't remember what
Um,
movie that was, but
yeah. I think the ramifications for this movie are huge, and we'll talk about that as we get to obviously like Civil War.
like the whole Sokovia
Yeah, right,
Accords.
right. But in general, where are we putting this movie?
Ultron. I'm thinking maybe our first B tier.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Because like I like Ultron as a villain too, and James Spader does a really good job as Ultron.
James Spader. They're bringing him
But
back.
like, are they?
Yeah, he's supposed to be in that Vision show.
Oh, Vision Quest. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Okay, but yeah, I'm cool with B tier. That's fine. All right, we're gonna do Ant Man, and then we're gonna take our quick break for Phase Two. Ant Man to me is one of those franchises where it's not offensive, but it's also very like forgettable a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean?
I
I
think
mean,
so.
who doesn't love Paul Rudd? You know what I
Right.
mean? And I think the first Ant-Man movie especially, like I really enjoy getting to see characters like I love movies where a normal person is either shrunken down or like enlarged to like see the world from like different perspectives. And this movie, like, do you remember like the bathtub scene where like I think it's Ant Man putting on the suit for the first time, and like there's like the running water starts coming in, and it's like a flood for him and everything.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff is really cool to me. Um, I
Arguably too.
do.
I think
mm,
like this movie was the first one since Civil War to kind of go spyish because he's a thief. They dropped that theme really quick, but
They do. They do. Yeah. Like I said, the Ant Man franchise in general, I think this is the best Ant Man movie, and we'll certainly talk about the other ones. But of the three of those, this is the best one. But I don't. I, it. I think this era of the MCU with like Age of Ultron and then Ant Man right after, we're just kind of like, all right, we're still just kind of setting these blocks together for like this big domino to fall.
I was gonna say I think Ant Man fell into that unfortunate category of his movie was to forward the story of the next one,
Right. Right.
and which we'll talk about later. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um,
I think it was a cool movie. Like I liked the villain,
yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, the
the,
bee, like, what is
the
he the
yellow
hornet?
wasp, yellow
The
jacket.
yellow jacket. Yellow jacket. That's it.
Him controlling ants, the whole like little montage he had, like jumping
Well,
through the
Anthony.
keyhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's cute.
And
It's a
like
cute movie.
the whole thing with him reconnecting with his daughter and
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like mending the bridge with his wife and I guess
Her
her
new husband.
husband, whatever,
Yeah. Right.
whatever. It was cute.
Yeah. I I think I'm gonna say B tier.
Yeah,
I think, is that fair? We'll
it
go
is.
right under here.
Yeah,
Again, very, very fine. Like, it was fine.
it's just a whatever movie.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's fine.
I'll throw it on, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Like if it's on, I'll watch it.
Hmm.
I won't go out of my way to watch it, but it's fine.
All right,
Yeah. All right. That's
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 phase
phase two,
two.
baby. All right. We are gonna take another quick break, and then we'll be back, and we're gonna talk about arguably the best phase in the MCU to date. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're going to talk about some Marvel Phase 3, baby. Oh, shots. We just talked about two, what I would argue, more of like the skippable movies in the MCU. And then, you know what comes next, Shotzi? You know what comes next?
The most unskippable movie.
The most unskippable movie, Captain America Civil War. Dude, when this movie came out, you know the Civil War comic, but for if there's anyone at home that doesn't, like there are a lot of people who, based on the Civil War comic, thought Captain America was going to die at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you remember, but like the stress people had going into this was crazy. It was absolutely insane. This movie, though, like, there's no crazy character deaths. This movie does so much, but it does it so well that like it it could have fallen into one of those, like, I think of like Spider-Man 3 or like even The Amazing Spider-Man 2 where like you have just so much going on that the movie becomes incoherent. This movie does such a good job of balancing like story and like just moments. You have the introduction of Black Panther. You have the MCU introduction of Spider Man,
the goat.
the goat of Marvel,
I'm gonna because I know we're gonna glaze this movie a lot.
for sure.
My one and only gripe, and I think you could agree with this
Okay.
movie, is I wish it was an Avengers movie and not a Captain America movie.
I agree. I do agree. It has Avengers stakes, and yet it gets relegated to a Captain America movie.
I think it's I don't want to say a waste, but like I think the GOAT could have deserved his own movie with
Who's
less
Spider
like
Man?
no. Captain America.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the other GOAT.
Right.
There's too many goats in this movie,
Too many
which is
goats.
what I'm saying. Like I wish
Right.
he got
Mhm.
his, time to shine.
Yeah,
But
this definitely, if they had gone back, and honestly, even now, they could go back and just call this Avengers Civil War, and it really doesn't make a difference.
right.
Like, yes, Steve is kind of the main character. He might have a little more screen time, but like, really, Tony Stark is the star of this movie
Yeah,
for sure.
poor guy.
Like the reveal. This is the movie where like the Sokovia Accords. So like after the end of Ultron, the Avengers start getting blamed for like casualties that are happening. There's no oversight of these like super powered people. Wanda has now joined the Avengers. They are I forget what country they're in, but like she accidentally like blows up a building and like people die.
Which is such a,
And
like, for the viewers who don't read comics, is such a neutered version of what happens.
yeah,
There's, like,
yeah,
this mutant, and his ability basically is to, like, absorb energy, and he, like, absorbs a nuke and blows up an entire school,
right.
like an elementary school. So
Hmm.
that's what we're comparing it to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think though this movie does do a good job, like of MCU-ifying Civil War because obviously we can't have mutants. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, what happens that places a certain amount of distrust in the Avengers? I think Civil War sets the battle lines really well. I do think there are certain people on the wrong team, and like obviously, like when watching this movie, the first time I saw Black Widow join Team Iron Man, you're instantly like, "What are you doing here? You don't belong on this team. What are you doing?"
Doesn't she
I
end up
didn't think
switching sides?
yeah, she does, but like it, I don't know. That might be another single gripe for me is just like that. Honestly, feels like it was just kind of a setup for her to switch sides because it didn't feel like it made sense. Um, Shots, we got 2 minutes to talk about this movie really quick. You were Team Captain America,
Yeah.
were you not? And
Mhm.
I was Team Iron Man. Now, here's for the audience at home. My thing, and obviously, what ends up happening essentially in the course of the MCU, Team Cap ends up winning. Team Iron Man wins like here in this movie, but overall, longevity wise, Team Cap wins.
Yeah.
My thing is I think like I'm more team Iron Man, but in the respect of like, do I think that these guys should just be able to go off and do whatever they want around the world? No. I think there should be some governing body that like tells them yes or no. Should it be a government, like a country's government entity? No. No. What I pitched to my wife whenever we've argued about this because she's also team cap is that the Avengers should have a Justice League type like thing set up where the Avengers themselves are the governing body and like the people who sit like in the like council of the Avengers would be the ones being like yes or no or like whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's my little rant on why I'm team cap or team Iron Man.
Right. How much time we got?
30 seconds. So um
America, that's why Team and Cap.
so that's fair, that's fair. Um
That's not why.
no, but legitimately, I think this is again one of the better movies in the MCU. I think this
Yeah.
is one that like most people would agree this is where like the peak of the MCU is like happening. This is like kind of the start of like the peak.
It just did
If
so much.
it did so much and again, it did so much in such a good way that it's kind of hard to believe that they pulled it off.
Mhm.
Um, I think obviously this movie goes to S tier. I think the
Oh,
only
yeah.
thing for us is like where in S tier does it go?
What do we got? Cap and the first Avengers?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's the top.
You think it's the top?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that.
How you doing?
How you doing? That just looks right.
Have we disagreed on anything besides Thor?
I don't think so.
I don't
I don't
think
think
so
so.
either. Maybe we've grown.
Surprising.
We've
Maybe we've
grown.
grown. Shots, let's get a little weird. Let's get a little
A little
strange.
strange.
Let's talk Doctor Strange.
What an entry. What a
What
out of
an
left field entry.
I was gonna say, I don't know about you. Before this movie came out, I had no idea who Doctor Strange was. And upon his introduction, I think this movie has some of the best visuals in the MCU.
Yeah, and I think it's
It's
also the first time that a movie has made you think past, like, the first plane of existence.
yeah, yeah. Like this movie is like it's very trippy, it's very weird. It almost reminded me of like Inception. I don't know if you've ever seen that,
I have.
but like you're like folding reality in on itself and like the mirror dimensions and stuff like that. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is really good as Doctor Strange.
The Mamu have come to bargain.
Oh man, yeah. I think Mads Mikkelsen is the villain of this movie, right?
The the old prodigy or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, he's trying to unleash Dormammu and everything. I do think like of all of like the franchises, like the I think about like Doctor Strange's relationship with his significant other. I don't even remember her name to be fair, but she's played by Rachel McAdams.
Mhm.
And like Rachel McAdams is like a big actress. Like she's like a bigger and well-known actress.
I
And
feel
she's
like her
really not
name is
used at
Rachel.
all. Is it Rachel?
I feel like it might be.
You might be right. I don't
But yeah,
remember.
no, like, literally, they what, go on a couple dates, he crashes off a cliff, and then you don't see her for 80% of the
Yeah,
movie until the very end.
right. This is another like they set him up to be such a Iron Man type cuz like he's kind of a bad dude, right? He's kind of a jerk to everybody.
Yeah.
He mistreats his coworkers, he mistreats his girlfriend, and then he gets into this accident. He's told he can't be fixed by medical means, and then he goes to find like other ways to heal his hands because he's this like incredible surgeon. And then he trains and becomes one of the sorcerers supreme.
Mhm.
And even then, he's trying to show off like his arrogance. He's trying to prove that he's like one of the best sorcerers in
Breaking
the
into the
world.
library, reading
Yeah,
forbidden books.
right. And this is the intro. Wong, bro,
Wong the goat.
the goat.
He is the interdimensional goat.
That's for sure. I really like this is another time where the MCU caused some controversy too. I think it's Tilda Swinton who's cast as like the ancient one. People were mad about that at the time
Really?
because like the ancient one is typically like an Asian like actor, and people were upset that like it's a white one playing like an Asian role.
Oh,
Um I don't in fairness, I don't think they portray her as like Asian in the movie or like try to pretend she is Asian. I could be wrong about that, but I
she's
don't
just in an
remember.
Asian country.
Yeah, and obviously, like a lot of the they certainly a culture appropriate some culture here. I will say that against
Yeah,
Doctor Strange.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I this movie's very fun to me. It's one of those ones that like I said, visually stunning. I may not remember the plot so well years from now, but I think it's a good ride. I think it's fun. I think it's a good time.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, where do we want to put it? That's the question.
Well, let's take a look, shall we? Um,
I think just because of the parallels between them, I could be cool with putting this like right next to Iron Man.
like behind or in front, you think?
I think behind.
I think behind is fine
I think that's fair. I think
because it
that's
does
totally
do a lot of
fair.
firsts, and
For sure. For sure.
he becomes a very
Very important
important
character.
character.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. For sure.
all right. So, where's that leave us? Oh, smoke incoming.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Bow, bow, bow.
Dude.
Canonically, like a
Yeah.
month after the first one.
Yeah, something stupid. Something
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. Back to back adventures.
I'm telling you right now, Kim and I to this day, at the end of Guardians 2, when Ego reveals that he planted a tumor in Peter Quill's head, and
It killed me to put that tumor in her head. What?
what? Kim and I quote that to each other all the time because we're just like, what?
It is
What
so
did you
crazy.
say?
And then
Yeah,
he stands on business and immediately shoots him in the head.
100%, 100%. It's 0 to 60 so fast.
Yeah,
I think this movie just again, it kind of builds on everything we've seen from the first Guardians movie. We're again kind of just expanding like the lore of like the universe now. You have Yandu and oh, his death in this movie
so sad.
is tragic.
It is, he's so you really love him in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. You go from hating him in the first movie to loving him by the end of this movie.
He may be your daddy, but he ain't your father.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Um, correct
So
me if I'm
good.
wrong too, but this movie introduces the I don't know what they're called, but like what Adam Warlock is from.
Yes. So at the beginning of the movie, they're trying to steal like the batteries or whatever.
The Axion batteries.
Yeah, yeah. And you get little oh my god, you get little baby Groot. We didn't even talk about that
Oh
at the end of the
yeah.
first movie.
Yeah, he Groot dies at the end. He sacrifices
Yeah.
himself.
And then he's like regrown, which I
Yeah.
think they say canonically like he's not the same Groot
It's like his
anymore.
offspring
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah. But yeah, so they tease Adam Warlock at the end of this movie. Um, you get Mantis. Mantis shows up in this movie. She becomes very important to the rest of
Yeah.
the rest of the franchise and to Infinity War and the plot there. But yeah, um, I this movie is just it's just fun, dude. It's just so
Mhm.
fun. I think I think this is better than the first one, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, I have a much better memory of this movie than the first one, in fairness. Because also, oh, how about a little forgotten thing? The end of or no, in the first movie, you see the Nova Corps.
I meant to bring that up, but yeah.
Yeah, I
And
totally
they
forgot
also
about
go
that
to
until just
jail,
now.
first movie.
Yeah, yeah, they have to break out of jail. That's part of the plot.
Yeah.
But like I
The Nova
said, for
Corps.
Guardians One, like I think these movies stand alone as just really good movies without being in the context of the MCU.
Do you
Um,
think this movie stands alone without watching the first movie?
um, that's a great question.
I feel like not so much, right?
E- Hmm. You got me with my own thing. I, God. Now, here's the thing. Here's the
Oh,
thing.
here we go.
In series together, like this is a very good sequel to Guardians One, and I don't think you need to watch other MCU things to understand this movie. So in that way, like this series stands out on its own. You're just totally blank staring right now. You're not having it.
That means no.
No, I do think you could watch this movie on its own and it'd be fine. I think you could fully understand what's going on. Now, like, do you have like a background of these characters? No, but I don't think you would have that in any sequel. But to in fairness to you, because you're using my own logic against me, um, I do think that this movie completely by itself would probably confuse some people for sure. So you could knock points off if you really want to. I would call this movie A tier.
Well, you said better than the first one, right?
I do think it's better. I think it's right in between the first one and
Cap.
First Avenger. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool
You're
with
cool with
that
that? You're cool with that?
for sure. I already know where the
Beautiful.
third one's going.
Go oh buddy, you already know.
You already know.
Shots.
Oh,
I
baby.
I want to do an entire Spider-Man episode with you,
Uh,
and I think eventually we will do that. But Spider-Man: Homecoming. Here's the
let's
thing:
freaking go.
the online community of Marvel fans, not a lot of people like the Tom Holland trilogy, which in my mind is crazy. I think it's absolutely insane. You
It's
could go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just a very narrow viewpoint because
I
like
agree.
your thing your thing with does a movie stand alone on its or stand on its own? These
Mhm.
movies are, I think, out of the trilogy, the most interconnected. Like I think they all tell one concise plot point.
Like like all 3 Spider-Man movies you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, there is origin story,
Yeah. It's just one giant origin story,
for sure, for
which
sure.
I think a lot of people I'm sure some people appreciated like after the fact. They're like, oh, okay, I get it now. But
Yeah.
like you said, some people just don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and it's crazy to me.
I think so. In fairness to those people, there are a couple things I will say about the Spider-Man movies really quick that you could possibly call negatives. I don't, but you could. People don't like his relationship with Iron Man. People think he relies too much on Iron Man in the beginning. Again, I think, and later on we'll talk about this with No Way Home, but like I think they did a good job in like showing like he has a character arc from being dependent on Tony Stark to eventually like completely on his own by the end of the third movie. Now, again, could you say that like that was intentional from the beginning? Maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but that's how it is. That's how it ended up.
There's one thing I wish people would consider when they judge these movies,
Mhm,
just because like and like this is happening too with Marvel Rivals, for example, right now.
mhm,
Just because a piece of media takes inspiration from the comics does not mean it has to follow it one for one.
sure.
Like this is not an adaptation of the Civil War comic. It's just Civil War
Yeah.
differently, you know?
Yeah, it's this. So again, when I think a great way to think about this is the MCU in like Marvel canon, in like all of Marvel canon, the MCU is a different reality than like the comics, than like whatever.
Exactly.
This is this universe's version of Civil War.
That is quite literally what it is.
Right. So like this Spider-Man, like yeah, he meets one of the world's most famous superheroes and he's inspired by him. He gets inspiration from him. He gets his first suit from him, or his first like real suit.
And one of the
Um,
things too is it was retconned later on, but I think it's really cool and I consider it true. Is in the
mhm.
first Iron Man, that little kid that he saves wearing the Iron Man mask is Peter Parker.
Yeah, yeah. Iron Man 2, I think it was.
Yeah, one of
They're
them.
at like the World's Fair or whatever. Yeah. I
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
Iron Man
that.
2.
I like
Yep.
that retcon. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
It's like, yeah, I would idolize him too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. You're a kid growing up in this world, you absolutely would. He's
Not
a
to mention
superhero.
he's
Like,
like Peter's a genius and Tony Stark
yeah,
is one of the smartest men alive.
right. But speaking specifically about this movie, um, I like the relationship Peter and Tony have. I think it's an incredible like if you're not going to have an Uncle Ben, like this is the type of like fatherly figure that Peter has in his life.
Mhm.
The Vulture, like Michael Keaton is as
Yeah.
the Vulture is incredible in this movie.
That was a crazy pull and it worked well.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't
I
remember
the
her name, but Liz, like,
yeah,
the
yeah,
actress, I thought that little dynamic between them was really well done.
for sure, for sure. I mean, just the core like friend group, like MJ, Ned. I think this was the first Spider-Man movie, and again, we'll talk about this if we ever do a Spider-Man episode. But this was the first time where like it really felt like Peter Parker was a high schooler. and he
Yeah.
was dealing with like high school stuff. And I thought that was awesome. I loved every second of it. We're technically out of time, but I just want to say one more thing. The scene where Vulture like drops the like building on him
Yep.
and he has to like
Iconic.
pick up the rubble above it is just mwah, it's
It's
chef's kiss.
it's literally just like core like this is Spider-Man.
Yeah,
He's down on his luck, overwhelming odds, and he just perseveres because people need him.
yeah, yeah.
It's
And like
great.
in terms of like greater MCU stuff, like this is a very self-contained movie.
Yeah.
Um, People get mad because they don't think Spider-Man's done like street level stuff. This is street level. Like this fighting against the Vulture felt very street level to me. Like, did he have bigger plans? Sure, but like it made sense that like Spider-Man was the one who stopped him by himself. Because I
Doesn't
know
he
that's a
literally
complaint
stop a
people have.
bank robbery in the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie?
Yes.
Like they're wearing Avengers masks?
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I think this would be an A tier movie.
I agree. And maybe it's my own prejudice speaking, but I think it's like number 1 or 2.
You know what, Chance? I'm not even gonna argue with you, dude. I think
Let's
that makes sense.
freaking go.
I really enjoy Tom Holland Spider-Man, and I hope we have him forever because
Me
I think
too.
he's awesome.
I'm so excited for the new movie. I'm very
Yeah,
much looking forward to the direction they're going.
for sure. For sure. All right.
Where does that leave us? Oh boy. Here we go.
Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
What do you think?
What do
I'm
I
very
think?
cautious with you. Yeah.
I think 90% of this movie means nothing until the very end.
You're one of those, huh? You're one of those,
No,
huh?
no, don't get me wrong. I think the movie's funny. I think the
Sure.
movie's good, right? It
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
what little plot it has, it does tell it well. We got like a half version of Planet Hulk,
The closest we'll ever get,
which is sad, but
for
whatever.
sure. Right.
Um, we get the definitive answer of who's stronger, Thor or Hulk, I guess, and Thor won
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
We get some of the best dynamics between Thor and Loki after thinking each other's dead for
for
because
sure.
he dies in Dark World,
He fakes his death. Yeah.
something like that. But he also
Hmm.
dies at the end of this one, I think. Or no,
No,
does he?
he dies at the beginning of Infinity War.
Right. Well, I just know that he's faked his death at least like 3 times.
Because he drops off of the end of the Rainbow Bridge at the end of the first Thor movie,
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
and then
Yep.
yeah, the second Thor movie he gets stabbed and you think he's dead. And
Yeah.
this movie starts off with him pretending to be Odin on Asgard,
Right.
and then you
Having
have
a
that scene with
play.
like Matt Damon, and they're doing like the fake like play of
Yep.
the end of Thor 2. I mean, look at say what you will about this movie. The reinvention of the Thor character was needed. It was absolutely necessary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I th- I think going the comedy route was good. I like Hella. I like Hella in this movie. She gets rid
Oh,
of
she's so cool.
the three like random people they always like put in the Thor movies that
Yeah,
we
she
haven't
just
mentioned at
takes
all.
them out
Yeah,
completely.
and like you know what? Good. Like who cares? They don't matter. Um the only one that I cared about was Lady Sif, and
She survives.
she dodges this whole movie. And I'm like, good on you. Good on you, girly. You don't need to be here at all. Um, but yeah, I think I like this movie. I can understand if you aren't a huge fan of it. Where do you think it belongs then?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just I think the writing was good. It's just
Hmm.
I don't think that most of the plot mattered. in the grand scheme of things.
I I could I could say that about a lot of these Marvel movies, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just feel like the only important thing was the last 10 seconds, and that's Thanos showing up after Asgard blew up.
Well, but I mean, the destruction of Asgard. Like, I think Thor goes through a journey in this movie, trying to understand his place in the world, trying to understand his place as like the future king of Asgard. Asgard's not a place; it's a people. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's important. And
Boo.
people like to pretend like this movie's just a big bag of yucks, but like there's important emotional stuff that happens in this movie. Odin dies.
He was also a terrible father.
Oh yeah, sure. But like Thor at some point like becomes alone. Like he thinks he's completely by himself and it's him and Loki against the world at some point. And Loki has that line where he's like, "Brother, uh the gods will smile on us again one day," or something like that.
The sun will shine on us
Yes.
again.
Yes. And I like this movie a lot. Like I said, if you don't, I'm not gonna go to war over this movie, but where are you throwing it then? What tier?
I'd say maybe mid A.
You're complaining about this movie that much and you're throwing it mid A tier?
Well, again, the ending is very important. And
Uh,
I don't hate the movie. I just don't
sure,
think I think it could have been made more important.
sure, sure.
Like, it was just, like,
Um,
getting all the chess pieces together, you know?
yeah. Now here's the thing. This is funny now. I don't think it should be that high. I think mid A is kind of crazy.
Okay, you wanna put it in B tier? That's fine.
I'll say top of B tier. Yeah. Wow. What a reverse. I
See,
was
I
not
was trying to
expecting
be
that at
nice.
all.
I was like, "Ah, I know Pat likes this movie. We'll put it somewhere in A."
I do like it, but I mean, let's not get crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
So, why don't we just go ahead and throw Black Panther in S?
I I'm very cautious about that, and only for one reason. I love Black Panther. Black Panther is an incredible movie. Chadwick Boseman's incredible in this movie. Um, Michael B. Jordan, one of the best villains in the entire MCU.
Period.
Um, the only thing, and this is a problem with some of the Marvel movies we're going to start to see, the fight at the end kind of takes me out of it because it becomes kind of a big CGI like cluster, and I was kind of left like disappointed by that ending fight. The rest of the
Does
movie is incredible.
does that diminish the whole movie?
I mean, it's certainly being the last thing that you see in this movie, it takes a little of the shine away from it for me.
Mhm.
I think if so I'm fine putting it in S tier because I think it is like when I look at the other movies in comparison, I'm like, yeah, it's a lot better than some of them. Um, but I think it would be at like the bottom of the S tier.
Right. I don't even remember. Is that like one of those things where it got touched up in like DVD? Because I don't remember it being that bad.
Oh no, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in theaters being like, "Oh, I'm disappointed by that ending."
Mm.
Because again, up to that point, like awesome movie. Like
Right.
the culture of Wakanda and like
The bond
um
between Chadwick and Shuri.
yeah, yeah. Chadwick Boseman, dude.
I'll never get another
Absolute
one.
absolutely devastating. And like just out of nowhere.
I know.
Like
The fact that
that
he hid it
was
so long.
I know. It's so tragic, dude.
I
It really
still
is.
think
I'm
like
gonna throw this in S tier, but go on.
um where'd you throw it at? Bottom?
End of S tier, yeah.
Yeah. Um It is what it is at this point, but I do think they should have just gone the recast route.
And I think they will. I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but like Secret Wars is supposedly going to reset the MCU in some way.
Okay.
So I think they're going to end up recasting. But like, you know, just this talking about this movie just in general, like the themes of like colonialization and like you know, the stealing of like artifacts from Wakanda not wanting to like share with the rest of the world because it's afraid of like the colonials, like the colonialists like coming in and like just
This
stealing their
movie
culture, stealing their like resources. Like it
is
was so profound. You
it
know what I
is.
mean?
And it brings that one guy back from Civil War, right? The dude with the metal hand
Oh yeah. Yeah.
as like one of the main people that steals from Wakanda.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this I remember when this movie came out, like this started that debate of like vibranium versus like adamantium. Like
Mhm.
because most people had never heard of vibranium before, and this was like the chief thing to come out of Wakanda, and uh, yeah, it's
It's
just
good.
it's honestly it's hard for me to talk about this movie because of how sad like Chadwick Boseman, like how sad that makes me, and like what we'll never like get to see
I
after
know.
that.
It's just like hearing like the ideas of the script of what the second movie was supposed to be, like him coming back and dealing with the ramifications of being gone for 5 years,
Yeah,
and like the progression of his town or country and being part of the world now.
right.
It could have been amazing.
I know. We'll
Not
talk
that what we
about
got wasn't good, but
yeah, but we'll talk about when we get to Wakanda Forever. But like that opening scene where like they have T'Challa like passing away and Shuri can't save him, like oh man, that absolutely
it was
broke my
rough.
heart. Absolutely broke my heart.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, shots.
Question:
Avengers. Hmm?
Do we do the two and then do that?
Nah, no. We'll let's do Avengers Infinity War, buddy.
All right,
Let's do it.
all right.
I think we both know how we feel about this movie, right?
Terrible. Oh my god.
Absolutely F
D
tier if
tier.
I could do it.
Put it down there.
That's an absolute meme.
Insta
This is
X.
this is the best movie in the MCU. In my mind, there's no debate.
Yeah.
This is it. The literal culmination of everything leading up to this.
9 years
Like
of movies.
right. And like you have Thanos. And like what I think what's incredible about Infinity War is it takes your expectations and it flips it on its head. Where like Thanos is the protagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
Like
You end up
you're
kind of
watching
rooting for him.
his yeah, you're watching his like hero's journey, and I've seen so many posts and things, but like the Avengers are his obstacle. And throughout the movie, like, you get some of the like the arrogance of like a Steve Rogers or somebody who's like, well, we'll beat him. Like, that's fine. We'll beat him up. This is just another villain. We'll stop him. And
We'll
the
do that
Avengers,
together.
right, right. And the Avengers, after like the events of Civil War, are fractured and they're separated. Steve shows up, no star in his chest, no shield,
I
and
realized we never talked about what's his face from Civil
there's a
War. The purple mask guy.
oh yeah,
The
Baron von Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo, the main villain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the least important part of that movie, to be fair.
But hey, he's the only person to ever beat the Avengers, technically.
I mean, Thanos beat him.
Up to this point. Up to this point.
Right, right.
Anyway,
Um, but yeah, I like. Thanos is such an interesting character, right? Because you have this guy who like he has a plan, he has a mission. He wants to in his mind, he's the hero. He wants to take out all of like half of life in the universe so that we're not like depleting our own resources and stuff. There's like a nihilism to Thanos's like way of thinking.
Yeah,
Because like how many memes did we see after Infinity War came out that were like, why didn't you just double the resources? Like you had the power to do that. Like why did you have to kill half the population?
right.
Um, but like also, I think going into this movie, I don't know if you like I don't know what you expected when you went to see this movie. I know when I went in, I expected a lot of like the OG Avengers to die. I did not expect the snap, and then you see like these new fan favorite characters like your T'Challas, like your Guardians of the Galaxy, like Spider-Man.
Literally every new character died.
Yeah. Now I will say one strike against this movie is that that happening kind of guarantees what's going to happen in the next movie.
Yeah.
Because they had announced Infinity War and Endgame were going to come out like a year apart from each other. And as soon as that happens, you're kind of like, oh, okay. We're going to get them back somehow. But at the time, like that movie finishes, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a post credit scene in Infinity War. I think they kind of just leave it as is, and then you're kind of left to, oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. There
Isn't
is
it the thing with
one.
Nick Fury? No.
Yes.
No, no,
Yes.
that's Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, but so no, but you're right. It's Nick Fury. He's like calling Captain Marvel,
Right,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then the
but
end of her movie, she shows up.
yes, right.
Yeah.
Now, again, I think the best movie the MCU has ever done.
Yeah.
I think it getting to see Thanos like so early on, like we mentioned, like the first time you see him is in the first Avengers movie. And so you get this like build up and this like intimidation of this guy who like, hey, he's powerful and like he has a problem with these Avengers. He shows up on Titan, I believe it is,
Mhm.
and he's talking to Iron Man, and he's like, "You're Tony Stark, right?" Tony Stark, you know who I am? And he's like, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge." So
Yeah.
like Thanos remembers that this guy blew up his ship. Like this guy nuked some of his brigade, and he's mad about it. He has a personal vengeance against some of our characters.
You throw one more goddamn moon at me.
Right, right. It's just I also really quick, we're skipping over a lot of the plot because this is a very long movie and it's very full of like plot elements. The moment where the Avengers almost get the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos, and then Thanos says that he had to kill Gamora to get the Soul Stone, where Peter Quill just like freaks out on him.
Again,
Do you know how many people were so mad at like Chris Pratt, the actor, for that?
which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. But like it just goes to show that like there's so much investment in this series at this point, in this franchise, that like that move causing the chain reaction that it did, that like blew people's minds and it made them freak out.
Mhm.
This is literal peak of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And
I
not to
don't think
mention that scene of Thor coming in at the end with Stormbreaker after
oh,
forging it.
yes. Yes.
Oh, bring me Thanos.
Absolutely.
The strongest
Absolutely.
we've ever seen him, I think.
Well, and again, he's pent up on rage and vengeance because he just watched his brother die for like the fourth time. He just wiped out all of Asgard after Thor had learned that Asgard was not a place but a people. Like, ugh, ugh, so good,
So good.
so
Ah,
good.
that last stand too of like right before Thor almost kills him, should have
Hmm.
gone for the head. Like just the desperation on like Steve's face as he's just like holding his hand back. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, War Machine got fused into the rock or something. Or no, who was it? Thor? No, geez, the Hulk. Somebody in Iron Man suit got thrown into the rock, and he like fused
Oh,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Um, Wanda fending him off with one hand while destroying the Vision with the other.
Oh, so tragic.
So tragic.
And then he rewinds time and is like, no, no, I'm gonna take that.
It's
You're
mine.
like, you're oh my god, this man is truly the
Him.
most incredible villain in the entire MCU. And you know what, chats? I don't know if they're gonna be able to top Thanos ever, just
I
for like
think
the impact he had and like just the what Josh Brolin brought to this character was so crazy. Like, there'll never be another. Never be
I don't
another.
think so. I think the closest there could have been is maybe Kang, and we all know what happened there.
God. Yeah. We'll talk about Kang for sure.
Yeah, but
Ugh. Yeah.
good stuff.
Good stuff, dude.
So we're right top of S tier, huh? One
Yeah.
final look at the list before.
Before we
Yeah,
move on to Ant-Man and the Wasp Shots, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like we've covered a lot, but
Yeah?
yeah. Sorry, just give me a second.
Shots?
I
You
just
alright?
yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling too good all of a sudden.
Shots?
I just
What's happening?
do you, what?
Shots? What's
Oh
going on?
God, I don't
Oh my
know.
god.
I don't.
Oh my
I
god.
don't feel so good.
Shots! Oh my god. He just got snapped. It's gonna take me like a whole year to figure out how to fix this. Probably sooner than that, though. Join us for next time, part 2.